Good morning and thanks for joining us as we come live to you from downtown Dallas. We start this morning with breaking news. Police are looking for a man who fired shots at a Dallas nightclub last night. Police say the shooting happened inside Prime Bar, Dallas, at around 1:30 this morning near Technology Boulevard. One person was killed. 6 people were brought to Parkland Memorial Hospital with gunshot wounds. Police at this moment are still looking for the shooter, who they describe as a 22-year-old male. If you have any information about this shooting, please go ahead and contact the Dallas Police Department.
Dallas police say the suspect in that deadly mass shooting at Prime nightclub in Northwest Dallas is still on the run. The department is asking anyone with information to call the police. According to DPD, around 1:30 this morning, a dispute broke out between 2 groups at the club on the 10,000 block of Technology Boulevard. A suspect who has not been identified at this time produced a handgun and fired into the crowd. 8 people were injured, all of them rushed to area hospitals. 21-year-old Daisy Navarrete died from her injuries. According to the latest DPD update, the motive and circumstances surrounding all of this are still under investigation. Police are offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and indictment for this and any other felony investigation. Just call 214-373-TIPS. For DPD headquarters, I'm Eric Alvarez.
Okay, so as you see, this shooting happened in Dallas, at a club frequented by people of color. So we not hear anything about this on the mainstream news. CNN won't do anything about it. MSNBC won't hear nothing from Rachel Maddow or Joy Reid. Just like the mass shooting last week in Chicago. That was at a makeshift club for people of color, where 15 people were shot and 2 lost their lives. So mass shootings, you're only going to hear about it if a white person does it. So I implore you guys to make sure you subscribe to this channel and subscribe to all my channels, because we cover these mass shootings regardless of whether the suspect or the perpetrator is white or not. We don't care if the suspect is a person of color. We'll still cover it. We'll cover it if he's white too. But it makes more sense to us to cover it regardless of the person's race, because these are the faces. So the last year we have the data available for the people who committed mass shootings is 2019. They're working on 2020. There was a lot in 2020. So these are the faces of everyone who was arrested. Now, as you know, last week in Chicago, the mass shooting at the club where 15 black people were shot and 2 were killed. They don't have that suspect in custody. In this shooting where all the Latinos were killed, they don't have that suspect in custody. I can't remember a white mass shooter that's just out there. Get in the comment section if you remember the white mass shooter that shot up a bunch of stuff and they're like, sorry y'all, we can't find him. He's just out there. Like these 2 last mass shooters that we've covered here. And then if you saw the video I did last week, there was one in Richmond, Henrico County. That guy's still on the loose. But anyway, these are the mass shooters. Now, there's going to be a unifying factor. There's going to be a tie that binds. Does anybody see anything that a lot of these people have in common? These mass shooters from 2019. Is there one characteristic that links many of them together? Is there one characteristic that links many of these people together? This is everyone who did a mass shooting that was caught. Now, like I told you, majority of the people of color neighborhoods don't get caught. And if you don't see any protests, that means that the victim surveys, which is what the victims told the police when the police showed up, and the police asked the victim, who did it? So since you don't see a lot of protests for any of those other mass shootings where the guy got away, we can just assume that it wasn't a white man. You're seeing a lot of people that come from the group that makes up 13% of the population. And this isn't even all of them, but these are the ones that were caught. 2019. You would never known that there were this many mass shootings in 2019. So this is why we're going to cover these things, because it's so many. And the majority of the victims of, I think 75% of the victims of mass shootings are black. That's a lot in a country where you only make up 13% of the population. For 75% of the victims of mass shootings to be black. And now I'm going to be called a coon for talking about this. I'm going to be a race traitor. I hate myself. But I want you to just remember, 25% of the victims of mass shootings in the United States of America are black. Black people make up 13% of the population. Pasadena, Texas. Lorian Walker. Capital murder charge filed against man accused of killing 16-year-old Pasadena girl over spilled water.
It's a tragic moment versus my family, well, my kids and my wife, and now it's my niece. Like, I don't understand it.
A family broken and devastated by two tragedies in less than a week.
Everything is sad, hurt, like, we feel empty, numb.
This is 6-year-old Lorian Walker. Her mother tells me she dropped off Lorian at a friend's place while her family was getting ready to go to a vigil in Spring. Pasadena police say there was an argument over spilled water, and the suspect opened fire, hitting Lorian multiple times. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. The suspect took off, but was later caught and arrested.
Our officers are human beings, so seeing a child who was shot is very difficult for them. They tried everything they could to try to save the child.
Lorian's family waiting outside the hospital for hours. Her uncle stepped aside to talk to us before he left for the vigil for his 3 young boys and wife who were killed in a fiery crash in Spring on Sunday.
Why? If you that angry, if you did it to a 6-year-old, you do it to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. You'll keep doing it until you can. Honestly, my family, when we want justice, that's not right for you to just take out an innocent child over for what reason?
Lorian's father and mother have not been able to see their daughter yet. The hospital released a statement that reads in part, while HCA Houston Healthcare Southeast sympathized with family members not able to enter the facility at this time, the hospital has received a request from the Pasadena Police Department to limit access to the emergency center of the hospital as the police investigate a possible crime. Family says Lorian has since been released to the medical examiner's office. Police have not released the name of the suspect, but the family tells me the suspect is related to the renter of the apartment.
She didn't get to enjoy life, get to enjoy school, get to enjoy herself, get to know herself. She's not able to do anything anymore because she's not here. She's a prince.
One thing that I notice about these black people when something like this happens close to them, they're not as mad as they are when a bum dude they wouldn't even spit on in another city far, far away from them gets killed by a cop while resisting arrest. I want y'all to notice that as y'all go forward and when y'all watching these videos in the future, black people are very, very measured and reasoned. When a random thug kills somebody in their family over some crap, some idiot, stupid stuff. But when a random dude they never heard of, a wino, a junkie, a career criminal in some town with 15, 20 letters in it that they never heard of gets killed while resisting arrest. Oh my God. The histrionics, the emotion, looting and burning, can't be controlled, crying, tears. Kill a little girl in their family and everybody's, measured and calm.
She didn't get to enjoy life, get to enjoy school, get to enjoy herself, get to know herself. She's not able to do anything anymore because she's not here. She's a princess. God, you have your princess, Jesus.
For the mothers and fathers out there, and if y'all have kids, just hug your kids and tight every night. It's a crazy world. Just beat up for your kids every second. Don't even let them out your eyesight, because anything can happen. So it happened to me, it happened to my sister, it can happen to anybody. So it's hard.
Roxy Bustamante, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Go straight to that shooting scene in Southwest Houston. The gunman shot 4 people, killing 3 of them in Southwest Houston. 2 of them, teenagers.
This was all around 11 last night on Ranchester near Clairwood, near Asiatown. ABC 13 reporter Courtney Fisher is there live. And Courtney, police say this shooting is completely unprovoked. And that's a quote from police.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to hear from police in just a moment. Samika, in the last 30 minutes since we saw you, the police tape came down. Detectives have left. There's just one HPD car kind of in the area where that shooting happened around 11:30 last night. There was a disagreement between 2 groups of people, and when it was all over after the shooting, 4 people had been shot. 3 of them are dead this morning. 2 of those killed were just teenagers, a man and a woman, both of them 18 years old. A man in his 40s is the 3rd person killed. Another 18-year-old woman was shot, but she will survive. Police say 2 guys got into an argument, as I mentioned, outside of this complex with another group of people here. Those 2 others, the suspects, they left in a gold brownish colored car, but they said they'd be back, and then 15 minutes later they returned. That's when police say they started shooting. As you said, Samika, a quote from police, totally unprovoked.
You see the bodies slumped over of 2 teenagers. It's just a senseless loss of life. It angers me. It saddens me that this is happening in this community. Gun violence continues to be on the rise in Houston, not only in Houston but around the country as well. So we need to do a better job as a community, as a society, of getting handle on this violence. It's completely senseless.
Police are looking for the shooters this morning, but here's the thing, they don't have any kind of description. Again, they showed up here in that gold brown colored car. We don't have any information about make or model. By the way, I just want to mention this. Since February last year, there have been 20 mass shootings in the Houston area.